I like to really tear it up that way. You know, jam with the blues, man. I really love that. But I was raised on country and bluegrass. Where I come from, there's bluegrass festivals all the time. Can't remember his name, but he's got a big bluegrass festival up in Bean Blossom, Indiana, and he's been there for years. It's just they come from world over to this big festival. I just can't seem to pull out his name right now, but I love that. Did you see the Woodstock movie? I almost went. I could have gone to Woodstock, but I didn't. I was poor, but I could have went. But I just love all kinds of music. But I think Enigma is one of my favorites because I love to just soar with the music, you know, and I just love the older Enigma stuff. But that's all of it. Nature Lover. Hi, Doc. I think you'd go ahead with your foundation to help people experiencing financial. You know, like I said, if one of you want to take on something, I have a name for a foundation. It's set up at the state of Florida, but you know what? I don't want anybody to claim. You see how people make claims all the time? I don't want anybody to make a claim against me. If someone wants to handle an account like that, and then we have a certain criteria for being able to get help, I think that would be a good thing, you know, where a third party is involved in that, and I'm not involved in that. I just don't want... I'm very sensitive to negative comments and stuff because, you know, after all these years of working hard and helping people, when people come up with stuff that they come from these ignorant positions or they just want to irritate the lovely folks on the tube, you know, after a while it's like, oh, go get a life. Girl gone vegan again. Oh, Kelly. Yeah. It's a question on behalf of a friend of mine that is suffering from vasovagal syncope. We chat often, back and forth, we share similar symptoms. Sure. Well, again, you know what? First of all, if you do have any neurotoxicity involved, this is another issue that can be involved there. Detox that body and pick up that nervous system. You go upper circ brain and nerve for CNS. The brain and nerve will also reach over into the autonomic, pick up the adrenals to the autonomic, and move those lymphs. Because that, when you look at any cell and the suppression of a cell, it's not going to be from the blood. It's going to be from the lymph, and it's going to be an acidosis type of scenario, inflammation, whatever word you want to call it. The other issue we face is neurotoxicity. Neurotoxicity is quite heavily. We don't care. Chemistry, oh, here, have this bathroom deodorizer. Here, have this beautiful perfume, coal tar products and antifreeze product. But it smells good. You know, that sort of thing. It can even be the perfume that she's wearing that's exacerbating this. I'm telling you, there's a lot of neurotoxins out there. So you've really got to get the body clean to help all that. Because that's the only way. Check your parathyroid for calcium. You go through all these fundamental issues that I've set up for you, and you'll find, are you digesting your foods properly? Are you absorbing your foods properly? That's a big one. That's interstitial lymphatic constipation in the GI tract wall. Are you utilizing your nutrition? Here, Nature Pass, don't forget this one. Are you utilizing your nutrition? Where does that come from? Adrenal glands. Parathyroid. So make sure all these endocrine glands are up and moving. You need neurotransmitters to strengthen the nervous system. You know what's funny is low neurotransmitter performance, and you have spasticity. You can have anything from the shakes to spasms to the suppression to syncope to all these things. Move that lymph out of this cerebellum. You know, start going that route. That's your only route to save you from these problems. Not pharmaceuticals. 303, I'm just listening to 70/1, and you mentioned how your rich clients don't seem to be interested. Yeah, that's true. It's unfortunate. We have a lot of wealthy people, and no one wants to seem to help people get well, and a lot of them love this level of health. So I find it amazing, you know, in today's world. I remember Bill Gates, until he found a woman. You notice that? Till Bill Gates found his current woman, he was cold. He said in one interview, why should I donate any money to anybody? Now he's donating all over the place. Took a woman to break that heart. That's what I say. Women have they're the love principle of the universe. I was raised by my grandmother and my mom, so I'm in touch with my female side, probably more than the male side in some ways, because my dad was a workaholic. He was always work, 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 and after a while that gets old when you're 10 years old and 9 years old and 7 years old. I had a lawn mowing business and a paper route. Gabriella, 1, 2, 3, nice, thanks. I really appreciate you take the time to reply. Well, I'm going to always reply to all of you guys, and even you two, all you guys replying back and forth to each other. You guys are doing so well. I'm watching some of what you're saying. I don't get a chance to hook to the Facebook site too much, but this is how you learn, and this is how you grow. And even if you make a statement when you're talking to each other and you look back and go, oh, I wish I'd have restated that, then that's part of the learning process. Each of us don't get upset with each other. We're just working ourselves, feeling our ways through, and feeding off of each other. Because as a counselor, and I'm branding you guys for counseling and for being your own healers, because the world needs you, then you work with this dialectics. You work with the ability to communicate. Like I said, go out and talk to the trees, go out and talk to the birds. Give them a talk. Learn how to take what the mind sees, which is in the mental worlds, and to bring it down to this physical world. It's got to go through some filters, and so oftentimes you don't always say what you see. So you have to develop that ability to clean the filters to where you're going to articulate what you want. And that's why the outline idea is a good idea. I've used that. Now I don't use anything because I know my subject matter. And that's another thing, know your subject matter. Well, this is such a simple subject matter. Don't ever feel you have to be medically educated. Matter of fact, thank God you're not medically educated. No offense to the medical doctors that are viewing this, but you've got to get away from your modality and start taking on this higher level of healing, and you'll sleep at night, and you'll heal people, and your heart will open, and you'll be very, very happy. Might not be driving Mercedes-Benz a lot. You probably already have that. No offense, but it's just like, man, I mean, it's just suffering is everywhere, and a lot of this is due to medical thinking. Gabriella again, hi dear, I have been on fruit, good, and some greens for about 4 months. Now I am wondering if you cheat, like eating one cooked dinner. How much are you messing things up? You're not. But I have such intense cravings, it's driving me crazy. Gabriella, sweetheart, go cheat. Go get yourself something and carry on. No one's over anybody with a club. The purists out there, give everybody a break. I was a purist. I'm not a purist anymore. It's obvious. I don't teach that anymore because reality is only a few people go way out there. And if you look at Dan got way out there. So Dan now is having to balance out. It happens. It's fun to go way out there, though, and you want to go as far as you can. But balance is also vital. It's part of the learning lesson. But a lot of times you really got to tap the bizarre, these high levels. But if you have a cooked meal once in a while, don't beat yourself up. I mean, come on. You're doing fantastic. We're talking about generations of this suppressed consciousness, of this propaganda that's not true, lies, and man's eating outside of his species. And now we're waking up to reality. It is going to take a while to retrain yourself and stuff. So don't beat yourselves up and pat yourselves on the back. You guys are kicking butt, and I'm proud of every one of you. So what if you cheat once in a while? If you're a healer, you want to get that attitude, because if not, you're not going to keep your clients. You'll run them off, because most of your clients are not going to be perfect. They're just not, and you can't expect them to be, and that's too hard on people. And they're just, people are just good folk, and they're lost, and we've got to help them find their way if they want us to help. And so don't feel bad if you have cheat once in a while. It's not the end of the world. Jules, Dr. Morse, thanks for answering my question. Read the subconscious mind. My Buddhist monk teacher said precisely the same as you did, that the only way to override the subconscious autopilot is to be 100% conscious. Right on. It's the only way. The only way. To be vigilant in the now. He's absolutely right. It's the way it is. Work in progress, definitely. I send you much love back, dear one. Your Buddhist friend is right on. And this is, I mean, there's universal truths that those of the high orders know, and a very aware monk. So exactly, and that's what you do, and that's what hopefully in this channel, and hopefully with all the help out there, those souls that want to get up higher and work more in the now. I think it's all come down to where we've cut the fat off through the years. We cut metaphysics off. We've cut cooked food away and allopathy away. We've cut all this stuff away, and we've boiled it right down to the facts and the reality of it. And this is true spiritually. You know, I mean, the inner worlds, if you can use that word, or the God worlds, are so full of life and activity and beauty beyond what a lot of souls remember. But it'll come back. And the reality, however, isn't creation. The reality is you. Always you. And that's why I love you. Because I'm looking at God when I look at you. And I always love God. Okay. Now, this is from Mr. A.N.T. Oh, and I don't know. I'm going to give you Mr. A. I'm going to dub you Mr. A. Dr. Morse, what can I eat that will allow me to pack in some calories? Yeah, I mean, this is the problem that we face, and we've talked about this before, about the weight. This is problematic. But I was talking to Drew about this, and you've got to fix the malabsorption and the pancreatic issues that always accomplish or are a companion to excessive thinness. Not everybody gets excessively thin, but I guarantee you if you're malabsorbed, meaning not absorbing your nutrition properly because of interstitial lymphatic constipation, or you have a pancreatic weakness, you fix those. I mean, there's one testimony here where they've been on the pancreatic formula, and now they're digesting better, and they're absorbing their foods better, and they're gaining weight. That's the sort of thing. Hang in there. Focus on health and the process of that health. And then you'll remedy why you're too thin. Because being all raw doesn't mean excessively thin. It can, but you can fix that, and you'll see weight. And there was another comment here where weight was coming on the body on the same diet. So that, and I've said this before, weight will come back on you on the same diet. You're losing it. But you've got to overcome some mountains, some hills maybe, to get there. And that hill would be improving digestion and definitely improving absorption. So hang in there, and they're just seeing what a lot of people have to deal with, and as healers, it'll help you to understand why your people are thin, and what you have to keep telling them and getting them to understand that you're working on the problem, that why they're thin. But there's no easy remedy. You can't maintain a lot of weight and work on malabsorption. You're moving your lymph, you're going after your lymph, you're going to be on all raw, and you're going to be on mostly fruit if you want to have any success. So keep going. Don't be concerned about don't be concerned about your potassium levels. Why would you be concerned about that? Fix your adrenal glands, and then potassium and sodium will come into balance. Gabriella, hi. I have been all fruit and some greens. Oh, I read this before. Sometimes he prints these double, I think.